the mindset that is killing your business and you don't even realize, or you might not even know that you have this freaking mindset. Now listen, you might know me from my other platforms. We're new here today with marketing, things like that. This is what I do outside my other platform. I do street ministry, theology, psychological teachings, things like that. But now we're embarking on this mission to help people stop exchanging time for money, tell them to be free to serve whenever, wherever, and applying biblical principles to every area of their life. You might say, hey, I'm not a Christian, I'm just here for the business and the market, I don't really care about that gossip. I know atheists that made it off the book of Proverbs. So don't count it out. And then eventually you probably just become a believer anyway because you see that God really works and God is all in business. Now, with that being said, the mindset. Your mindset is everything. Your mindset is the power behind your business. It's not your competition. It's not your pricing. It's not all these things that you have going on in your life. It's your mindset. Your mindset is the umbrella of all these things. So what I'm saying is when you talk about mindset, right? When you talk about who you are as a businessman, what you label yourself, how you carry yourself affects your whole business. Now, a chaotic mind creates a chaotic business. A focused mind creates a scalable business. Proverbs 23:7 says, for as he thinks with himself, so he is. Your business reflects your discipline in your inner world. Now, Harvard reviewed that 65% of business failures come from bad decision patterns and mindsets, not bad products, not marketing. Now, those things contribute, but that's under the umbrella. That's why so many fail because of their freaking mindset and they're being who the devil says they are, not who God says they are. Get out of that mindset and become successful. So, that being said, when I started business, I had a bad mindset. I'm doing $250 websites, $500 websites, and I'm freaking failing because I was being that local guy that knew how to build a website, not an entrepreneur with a marketing company. I view myself as a guy at home on a laptop doing stuff here and there, but I never actually stepped in like, hey, I want to be scalable and be an entrepreneur and have all these things, but I can't if I continue being this way. So I was making nothing, failing, struggling, suffering because of how I view myself in the mirror. I was in a survival mindset. Stanford research shows a survival mindset makes you reactive, inconsistent, and constant in fight or flight. You only make decisions based on today's stress, not tomorrow's growth. Habakkuk 2:2 says, write the vision, make it plain on tablets, so he who reads it may run it. Vision is the opposite of survival. Survival reacts and visions build. You can't scale something your mind is trying to survive. If you're stuck in survival mode, you will fail. When I had no money and I quit work and was not as trying to do business, I was taking every offer. I wanted 1,000, I do it for 200. I was eager doing everything the cheap shortcut way I could because I needed the money, and I started despising what I was doing. Mistake two, small thinking. Psychologically speaking, behavioral economics show that your brain avoids risk, even good risk, because it prefers the comfort of smallness. That's why most owners undercharge, avoid hiring, and avoid marketing. Ephesians 3:20. Now to him who is able to do far more abundantly than all that we ask or may ever think. Even God thinks bigger than you do. Thinking small is more expensive than marketing. Stop thinking small about yourself. You are bigger than that. You are who Christ and God says you are, not who you say you are in the mirror, not who your trauma says you are, not how your parents view you, not how your friends view you. They might see that guy they used to play basketball with or them people they used to chill with, but you are now a businessman. And it's a different respect now for who you are. You gotta have it for yourself before others have it for you. Now, mistake number three, emotional decision making. Yale found emotional decisions are 45% less accurate when you make choices under stress. Pricing, branding, outreach, you're statistically wrong almost half the time. James 1:8, a double minded man is unstable in all of his ways. If your emotions run your business, you don't. With trading and business, I failed the most when it ran off of emotion, mainly off of fear. I failed mainly because I was fearful and struggling. And it's like we gotta get over that. We gotta do that. Now this is a big one. Mistake number four, fear of rejection. Neuroscience discovered rejection activates the same brain areas as physical pain. That's why people avoid posting, messaging clients, asking for reviews, and following up because they're insecure and fear of rejection. You gotta understand it doesn't matter. You miss 100% of the shots you never take. Not a single post is wasted. One like, fine. One customer. One potential customer saw. Who cares? When I started social media years ago, I get one like and be discouraged. That one like might have impacted their whole freaking life and changed everything. Let me tell you some story. One time I made a post and it was about just being healing from unaliving yourself. I had one like, I almost took it down. That one like reached out that they were going to take their life that night, but that video changed. Imagine if I took it down because it was getting no likes. Now, watch this too. I kept posting. When 1 year I'm getting over 100,000 likes because I was consistent, not because I had a marketing team, because it was me and God and consistency and discipline that He provided. Proverbs 29:25. The fear of man lays a snare, but whoever trusts in the Lord is safe. You don't have a lead problem, you have a visibility problem. Mistake number five, small freaking identity. I hate that people do this because I did it. Identity theory says you perform at the level of the label you carry. If you believe you're just a trade guy, you will act like it in pricing, branding, leadership, and everything. If you say, hey, I'm here, I'm a trade guy. I don't have the marketing entrepreneurial status of these guys, but I'm gonna stay right here. You're never gonna pass here. You'll never make it to billionaire, millionaire level if you're here with local trade guy mindset. Small beginnings are fine, a small identity is not. Zechariah 4:10, do not despise small beginnings, the Bible says, for the Lord rejoices when the work begins. But small identity is not the same as small beginnings. Your identity has to be bigger. It doesn't mean be a narcissist and think you're better, but know your worth and who you are from a biblical perspective. Unrealistic expectations, mistake number six. Harvard showed new entrepreneurs overestimate how fast results come and underestimate how long consistency takes. That's why people quit strategies too early, right before they would have worked. Most businesses don't fail, they quit too soon. I remember I was in a trade one time. I was willing to risk 150 to make 800. I got out the trade when it went negative 100 because I was scared and my strategy didn't work in the time frame I thought it would. I got out and it went in the direction I expected with my strategy, and I would have made 800 in 30 minutes, but instead I lost 100 because I was fearful. Most businesses don't fail, you just quit too soon. Lack of discipline, mistake number seven. Angela Duckworth proved grit beats talent, IQ, and luck. Discipline is the foundation of predictable income. It's showing up when it's boring, when it's quiet, when it's not paying off. Proverbs 12:24. The hand of the diligent will rule, while the slothful will be put to forced labor. Your discipline is louder than the market and your talent. That's why Andy Elliott always talks about having abs, and that I don't think it's abs that make a businessman. I think it's a discipline that it requires to get abs. Like me, I do heavy weight training, right? Which is on the opposite spectrum. But because I had to learn to train to failure, endure, and move heavy and stay consistent in it because I wasn't consistent when times got hard. So that's why I picked that avenue because I needed it to produce stuff in my personal life and that discipline that I needed. If you're not disciplined out of business, you won't be in it. Framework you need to have: fix the mind, fix the decision, and fix the business. Once you fix your mind, you'll fix the decisions and your business will be fixed. Now, that was part one. Moving on to part two, the real reason clients are finding you and you're a freaking ghost in your business, your phone's not ringing, you're not getting leads, you're failing. Half the people that call never get anything. Why? We're going to explain why on part two. So stay tuned.